Surveillance video capturing what appears to be a barrage of gunfire. Shortly after, you see people running for cover. Chicago police were called to 95th and Princeton after a mass shooting around 11 Friday night in the city's Princeton Park neighborhood. At least 13 people were injured.
Father's Day weekend and another bloodbath in Chicago. A red SUV rolls up to a Juneteenth celebration on the south side. 2 shooters open fire into the crowd. 13 people drop. Same old story in Brandon Johnson's Democrat-controlled war zone. They're going to blame guns again, of course. I'm blaming the truth here. I'm calling out the truth. Depending on who you are, this was a special weekend for a lot of people. You had your Juneteenth stuff. And, this is going to sound weird in Chicago, Father's Day also. Ironically, the biggest driver of this endless cycle of young men turning into shooters is fatherlessness. No dad in the house. No man teaching discipline, accountability, how to be anything except another predator or statistic. Gangs become daddy. The streets raise them, the bullets fly, nobody brings the milk home. And of course, in Chicago, the numbers are merciless. They're downright horrible. Chicago neighborhoods are drowning in single-parent homes. Violent crime is over 226% higher. Homicides, 436% higher. Across cities, high father absence predicts massive spikes. Crime nearly 50% higher overall. Violent crime 118% higher. Homicide over 250% higher. All a result of no dad in the house. 85% of prison inmates come from fatherless homes. Boys without dads are dramatically more likely to join gangs, drop out of high school, commit violence, die young. The data doesn't care how you feel. If this hurts your feelings, too bad. These are real statistics. I mean, you can ignore them all you want. There is no race tied to this. These are statistics that tell a very clear story. Again, you can ignore them, but you certainly can't dispute them. Of course, Chicago, with its strict gun control, already got some of the strictest laws in America. But guess what? Criminals don't obey these stupid laws. They get guns the same way they get everything else. They steal it. The tool here isn't and never has been the problem. The fatherless product holding it is the problem. Of course, they got their same old tired excuses. Every single time they regurgitate the same old tired mess. Poverty, racism, systemic this, systemic that, whatever. There's plenty of poor kids out there with real fathers that grow up right. They work in the trades, they work with their hands, they don't steal things, they build families, they defend themselves. Let's face it, one of the worst things that we could have ever done in this country is create the welfare state. The government welfare state and the entire culture that rewarded single motherhood for generations while demonizing strong men did all this damage. That's the root. Everything else is theater while the body count climbs. And going back to Father's Day, for those of you that do have a present dad, not the ones whose dad's still out hunting for the milk. Instead of getting your dad some of the same old stupid things for Father's Day, here's an idea. I think the best gift you can give your dad on Father's Day is to honor his legacy by being a strong man, both mentally and physically, a person who demands respect but also gives it in return, an honest person. Stand up straight, build something, protect your own, reject the victim script out there. Be the man that your dad raised you to be, or the man that your father never took the chance to raise you to be. You don't have to repeat his mistakes if he wasn't around, because this goes for all young men, or men in general, whether you had a dad around or not. Some of you may have a mentor around, an uncle, some guy in the neighborhood who took you under his wing, treated you right, taught you a little bit of respect, taught you how to respect in return. Maybe mom's boyfriend or something, a stepdad. It could be anything. Heck, it doesn't even have to be blood relatives of any kind of. I mean, my father-in-law, I lost my dad in 1992, and my father-in-law was as much a dad to me as my own dad was. Doesn't have to be a blood relative. That's the best gift you can give somebody, is honor that legacy. Show them that the things they taught you didn't come in one ear and go out the other. Now I'm going to give you some crazy irony with Juneteenth and Father's Day being on the same weekend. Let's talk about men. Men who are fathers. Men who are fathers, they are present and engaged, not just biological sperm donors, and include those that celebrate Juneteenth, not just passively recognize it. This will blow your mind. Once you apply all those filters, you've cut the numbers down quite a bit. Using those ingredients, again, a present dad and someone who eagerly celebrates Juneteenth, we're looking at about 2 to 5% of American men that fall in that category, who both see themselves as active present dads and are genuinely excited to celebrate Juneteenth each year. That's crazy. And you know why? I don't have to spell it out, but that's wild to combine those two groups and see what the commonalities are. It ain't much. These communities that are bleeding out every single weekend are exactly where those positive ingredients are missing. No strong, engaged fathers, no real structure, just excuses. Oh, we got the gangs. Politicians are cashing in on all this chaos too, by the way, while they continue pushing more gun control that disarms everyone trying to protect themselves, except, of course, the criminals. Look, folks, strong fathers create strong sons and daughters. Strong families create safer streets. And everything else is just noise and BS. This Father's Day, be that man, guys. Raise those boys right. Arm yourself and your family, because the system sure as hell won't protect them. Demand better and reject all the lies out there. And again, honor your dad's legacy by trying to be the man that he tried to raise you to be.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.